All right, what's up, guys? We're gonna wait a few minutes to build the audience. Just went live right now. We will be doing some live trading with you till 12. Then a SNES Tech CEO interview, SNES at 12:30. Then we'll continue doing some live trading after 12:30. By the way, Rhett, are we doing that? Can people win some cash here today?
Yeah, definitely.
We have a banner we can put on the bottom, or
yeah, I just gotta tweet this thing out really quick.
All right, so we're just getting set up here. Sorry, I'm just having a snack before I start talking for 1.5 hours straight.
What are you munching on today? McDonald's?
I have a box of these RX bars I get on Amazon Prime.
Those are nice.
Subscribe and save, yeah. I mean, they're delicious and they look healthy. I don't know. I used to buy them from the vending machine. I used to get it from the vending machine here, and then I figured out if I get it on subscribe and save on Amazon, it's like 70% less.
Wow, holy cow.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right. So, yeah, just wait a few minutes. We're going to get people on before I start talking formally, but you can see the stocks I'm looking at up here on the watch list this morning. Right at the top, we got NRGV. That's my largest trade position at the moment. That's good tea. Right now?
What'd you say?
It's snowing outside right now.
Really? A lot or just light?
Light, but you know, it's visible. You don't have to like strain your eyes to see it. It's snowing. All right. We have the information on how people can. Do we have a banner for how people can win the money, or we just speak it out loud? How's that?
Well, let's speak it out loud. I'm gonna have the banner, and I'm just gonna update it.
Wait, let me make a quick banner. I want people to. What can we say? Here we go. No, whatever. You're gonna speak it out loud. All right, guys. I want to reset here. We're gonna start again here in 30 seconds. I like to have this countdown stuff to get it more official. Here we go. We are ready for some live trading here today. How's everyone doing today? Let's see. Let's see how I'm doing. It's I gotta do. I'm almost flat. I'm just down a touch right now. I was up earlier, but let's very quick macro look. As long as we're over the key moving averages, which we are, 20 DMA, even the 50 DMA is your ultimate bull line that, as we've been talking about on QQQ, IWM, trying to reclaim that 50 DMA right now. It's holding it 242.94. As long as we're over that, I got to stay bullish. Now, there are some cracks. There are some worries. I don't like the heaviness I'm seeing in crypto. Obviously, I don't like the pressure on NVIDIA from Michael Burry and SoftBank. All right. So those are issues. However, when we're above those key moving averages, it means that you're not like in a market liquidation mode. It means that individual stocks can perform on their own merits as long as they're not like, crazy overvalued. And just an example here, look at these earnings winners having multi-day runs. Now, Kodak is one that we crushed. We got in pre-market like 620, 630 with an 824 target. It hit the target. Now I have a secondary target closer to 10, but look at this multi-day run on Kodak. Look at the multi-day run on Snap, which I called, but I didn't stick with it long enough. multi-day runner on Rivian, which I just missed because there are too many ERs going on. So I never had a chance to really look at that carefully. Multi-day runner on eToro. Look at that move through 2 key moving averages. Looks beautiful. Lyft, multi-day runner on Lyft. All right. So you can see here, this is how I operate. As long as we're above key moving averages, I still trade individual stocks based on catalysts. That's my MO. All right. And when we have a risk event that, the market might flush to keep below key moving averages, something like that, that's when I get more defensive, as we did when I anticipated a break of the 20 and a test of the 50. So I went to like 80% cash over here. So that helped me and saved a lot of people a lot of money. And some people played that with options, made their whole year playing my predictions on the 20 and the 50 interaction on the Qs. But now we're above the key moving averages. It's relative stability. I know a lot of folks don't like what they're seeing, but it's relative stability enough to see. And here's the evidence that I just showed you. All right. Once again, Kodak, Snap, Rivian, eToro, Lyft. The key is on these earnings winners, you want to make sure they're not like crazy overvalued. Like this morning, I was saying, I don't know, maybe avoid NBIS. Look, you get closed green candle. Rocket Lab, I said too expensive, closed green candle. BBAI, I said too expensive, closed green candle. I don't want to be trading things that are 20, 30, 40 times sales, except maybe for ASTS, because their sales are going to ramp faster than maybe any company in history in 2026. So they're going to grow into that pretty quickly. So what other earnings or catalysts can give us those rapid re-ratings we look for? There are a couple others here that I want to point out. NRGV came out this morning. So this is a top pick of the morning right now. Now, the only problem with NRGV and me here this morning is I don't know the stock. It's been on my radar. ER came last night, which looks nice. I hesitated taking a large position in pre-market because they were just reiterating the revenue guide. And the thing was like popping on a reiterated revenue guide. Usually you want to see, the guidance come in above analyst estimates. Here they were just reiterating. And, and the explanation for why it was doing well, I think it's just the company, Wall Street has doubted guidance from management. They've doubted it. So when they reiterate it, they're like, I guess it's actually happening. And they had a huge quarter, huge revenue growth quarter sequentially and year over year. But the other thing that intrigued me here is here you have a stock in an energy sector, battery sector, sentiment. We got to come up with like, you know what? Actually, let me see something. This will be fun. 1 second. We got like sound effects here now. Let's see. Do we have like a little like ding sound effect? Let me see what we have.
We have a lot of new stuff here.
Oh, what are these? Train whistle. That sounds too. Let me see these. What's this? Oh wait, how's this work? It's not working. Wait, how do you do that?
Just play it. Here.
Hold on. More sounds. What? I can't. When I go to more sounds, it doesn't. Oh, you have to drag them. I don't even.
Yeah,
know.
drag and put up.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Oh. Wow. Hold on. We needed something like a ding. I need a ding. A little like check mark kind of sound. Do we have it? Oh, what's that?
That's an explosion.
Oh, wait. We have more sounds here. Hold on a second. What's this train whistle? Let's see it. Oh, I see. Now I get Anyway, here we go. I like to think in terms of our 4 pillars. Even if I don't always express it, I'm always thinking about it. So NRGV, you got the sentiment. Check. What do you mean by sentiment? You're in the right sector. Okay. Sentiment is very complicated, to tell you the truth. Being in the right sector is just one of many, many, many factors, qualitative factors, things about management, things about specifically having to do with the company. Whether it's trust or customer concentration risk, product concentration risk. I mean, a lot of things that can't be really quantified well go into sentiment. And so at a very high level, I'm like, all right, you're in the right sector. You got a sector sentiment tailwind because battery stocks have been exploding lately, like EOSE, and a couple other ones, which their names escape me right at the second. But the whole sector has been doing great. So this is in that sector. But then the more intriguing thing was, yeah, they didn't raise their guidance was not above estimates, but their EV to sales is like 2 in a hot sector with revenue growing really fast. Try to find something else like that, man. Everything I'm looking at lately, which is why I passed, like I said this morning, I passed on trying to on chasing BBAI and Rocket Lab and NBIS, because these things are all trading at 20, 30, 40 times revenue. And Oklo's trading at like infinity times revenue, right? So they report tonight. So I'm not chasing those things, but NRGV 2 times revenue. And so we made it a top pick this morning, and it's worked out. I mean, we had a big
great. It hit our 460 target.
Oh yeah, we had a force. That's the initial target, but I was greedy, so I didn't sell. Right, I didn't sell. I kept on adding more. Then I averaged down. I think I'm down. I think I have like an 8 or 9% allocation now with a 440 average. So I'm only up 2 cents right at this moment. But if you look at this weekly chart, oh my gosh, this weekly chart is crazy. I only wish I knew this company better. I need to do some homework. Hopefully, people in our community and our Discord will help me with that. If not, I'll try to find time to listen to the last couple conference calls and read some articles. But in any case, if you look at the weekly chart, I think we can see 550 to 670. 550 to 670 maybe this week, guys. 550 to 670 maybe this week. Again, I only hesitate because I don't know the fundamentals well, and I don't know the sentiment well. And that's even almost a more important part, and I get an idea for the sentiment by listening to the conference call, listening to questions the analysts ask, going on social media and seeing, what the criticisms are of the company or what the enthusiasm is behind the company. It takes a lot of research for me to really know a company well and understand the sentiment well. And that's important for being able to do a process at story trading, because we get the catalyst. We start with the catalyst. We say, what's the impact of the catalyst on sentiment? What's the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals? Once you assess those, you come up with the thesis, and you look at the thesis of directionality, and then you look at the trade plan and the price target. So that's our 4-pillar process at story trading, and that's why I chose NRGV as a top pick today. Currently up 9 cents a share on it. Okay, so that's a top pick now there for today, and who knows, maybe I'll swing some for those targets I told you about in the next couple of days. Now, a couple other stocks that I'm trading this morning as well. I did sell the ASTS I held overnight for a small profit, but now this one's just a trade, not high conviction. I just saw it late in our Discord, but I actually covered it in the morning note, in the PDF morning note. SOC raised a considerable amount of money yesterday. Roth Capital comes out and reiterates their buy rating with a $22 price target. I don't know the story well here, but I'm guessing what's happening here is after that adverse, at least temporary ruling in California regarding their assets, their oil drilling assets or whatever it is, that maybe there was a question about cash, and they don't have enough cash to see this through and fight this in court. And it was like maybe heading towards, people thought it was heading towards bankruptcy, because usually when you do an offering, you go down, but here it went up. So this is my explanation and I even noted this in the newsletter this morning, is like, surprisingly, SOC went up on an offering. And then we see Roth now upgrading it. So I'm just inferring, I could be wrong, but it seems to me that's what's going on, is that there was worry that they were going to run out of cash and they can't see this through in the courts. Now they have the cash, and Roth is like, yeah, they got enough cash. They're going to see this through in the courts. We're keeping our price target at 22. I think that's what's going on. So I got into this late, but given the very high short position in this, look at that. And it's been growing. 20 million shares short. That's 20%. That's 20% of the OS. What is it? Of the free float, it's even more. Oh, wow. You're talking about 25% short float. So you have a 25% short float, and all these catalysts I'm telling you about, did it break 718? It briefly broke 718. Who knows? This can make a quick move. Wow. This might make him quick, like move to 10. Oh my gosh. Is that crazy? This might make a quick move to 10. I noted some in the Discord earlier. I was saying 840 that I saw some resistance at. maybe 840. But now looking at it, if you want to take a longer term perspective of when I say longer term, maybe a few days, maybe it can make a run to 10. But again, I'm not close to this company like I was to Kodak. That's why you don't see me adding everyone in the Discord like 10 times over and over again, like I did with Kodak. Like Kodak, remember, I put so many messages out the night before when it was like 6:30. I'm like, I'm adding to my short-term account, adding to my intermediate-term account, adding to my long-term account. I'm like, I got a 5% position, 10%, 15%, let's go. And I kept on hitting the add everyone because I had so much conviction because I know the company inside and out. I've been researching it for years. I've talked to company management before, so I exactly knew the implication of the catalyst that came out last week. With these other ones, don't know them as well, okay? So there's different types of trades with anyone, and there should be for you too, based on your level of conviction. But within our community, within story trading, if I know the company better, I'll have higher conviction. I'll do more allocation. I'll spam more about it in the Discord if I have a higher conviction, right? So Kodak was a very high conviction play. NRGV, lower conviction, just simply because I don't know it as well, not as close. Same thing with SOC, don't know it as well, not as close. Let's look at a couple other things I'm trading today in smaller size. TXMD. Now, I regret not telling my Discord about this last night or putting in the morning note because I had the catalyst yesterday. This is a company I used to know well. They are now, I think they sold their assets to biotech, and now they just collect royalties, all right? But one of the products, and I think it's the biggest product that they get royalties on, is Bijuva, I think it's called, something like that. But it's a hormone replacement therapy for women after menopause, okay? Yesterday, there was a ruling from the FDA. There's a black box warning on hormone replacement therapy that's been out there forever. I forgot exactly what the warning's about, but it's always been something that was controversial and maybe considered, is it safe, is it not, to do hormone replacement therapy after menopause. FDA came out yesterday and removed that black box warning, which should lead to more prescriptions for hormone replacement therapy. TXMD set to benefit directly. Man, I saw this last night at $1.30, $1.35. But I didn't notify it and I didn't buy it. I just put it on my watch list. Ouch! I should have notified you guys and I should have bought it. But when I saw jump this morning, I did finally get in late at $1.60. Rhett, you were saying you really like the chart on TXMD, and who knows? This is one of those things.
Yeah, I do definitely like it.
Yeah, and 19 million market cap. It's one of those things that could just, especially in after hours, extend it. Who knows? I'm looking at the next resistance I see is actually 244, right?
Yeah.
So it might overperform, even if you do like some sort of fundamental impact of, how much was sales increase, yada, yada. You can go do that. But for me, this is more about catalyst sentiment and technicals and less about fundamentals. Just it could positive. It's probably already outperforming the fundamental benefit at 25%, 20%. But looking at the chart, this can overshoot maybe to 244. So small position because it's high risk because I entered late. So TXMD. Now, another one that I got big size just this morning. By the way, you have support at $8 on Kodak. There's more I want to say about Kodak. All right, before I get to the next big one, let me just talk about Kodak for a second. I think there's going to be another secondary opportunity in Kodak where you see a big move again, fast. And my thinking, my logic behind this is that Kodak's been left for dead for a long time. And they've had a bunch of spikes here that, remember, like a few years ago, the first Trump administration, Kodak ran from like $1 to 60 in one day because they were supposed to get like a $750 million loan from the government to advance like U.S. manufacturing. And that never happened. And there was controversy around that. And anyway, it was retracted. And then there were some accusations of insider trading. I don't know. All right. And then it was kind of left for dead. But look, since then, all retail, all they ever know about Kodak, they think it's a dead company. No one buys film anymore, right? They think it's a completely dead company. And the only thing they can possibly have going for it, is pharmaceutical manufacturing that's supported by the Trump administration, right? So every once in a while, you get these spikes, all right? Look at these spikes. Like, these are like big moves, 40, 50, 60, 70% spikes based on chatter about that. And then it pulls back because that chatter is never real. I'm telling you, look, I have a feeling a lot of shorts are going to get trapped in this. I have a feeling a lot of shorts did not look at the news on Kodak, do not know that we just had a major inflection point event in Kodak in the earnings report. An earnings report I've been waiting for years. And it finally came. Major flip to profitability. But more than that, they're getting a $600 million cash infusion finally after planning for this for years. Okay, they're getting $600 million cash next month by unlocking value they had in an overfunded pension plan. Okay. Next month, they're getting $450 million cash. They're going to get another $150 million throughout 2026 as hedge funds liquidate some of their assets. That $600 million is going to come in, and they're going to pay down some $300 million of debt, take it down from $500 million to $200 million. They're going to have the rest as cash sitting as a war chest. And I mean, like, probably half of this market cap is now cash. And at 6:30, I'd calculated they were trading an EV to EBITDA of 3.5. Now maybe the EV to EBITDA is 5 or something. Okay. So what I think you're seeing here is you're having some hot money retail selling the stock here because they think it was just a pump, and they don't realize that this move, by the way, this move we got on November 7th, this was institutions buying. I could see it in the price action. I was talking about it all day. It was slow and steady buying all day long. And then the price action yesterday was retail getting in. Okay. So I think you got a floor in the stock right around here, right around $8. This is institutions. Then retail gets sloppier. The trading gets sloppier on the next day. And now they think, oh, that was just a pump. It failed to go to 10 or something or whatever the heck the retail wanted. All right. So now that some of these retail may be shorting against who? Against institutions who are buying long now. You got an $8 support. This can see a very violent move to the upside as soon as it finds support. We'll see if it finds it at 8. But wherever it finds that support, you're going to see like a little bit of a short squeeze again. So I'm in it for a secondary move again on Kodak. We exited that, made a ton of money, but I just got back in like 20, 30 minutes ago on my trade account on Kodak near this $8 support level. All right. So that's what I'm trading today. It's NRGV near high day, now up 20 cents a share. All right. We got the Kodak reentry. We got this SOC. I told you a thesis on that. I told you a thesis on TXMD. The last one I'm going to tell you a thesis on, which I went in big the last couple hours, is Yatra. Now, this is a name I used to be extremely, extremely close with, and I did a lot of research on this company. Yatra is an Indian travel company. Now, very interesting here. It's traded on both the U.S. market and in India. The primary listing is in India. What we have here is not a direct listing. It's a holding company. It's basically a U.S. holding company that owns shares of Yatra India. Okay. If you look at the net asset value, now Yatra is supposed to report tonight after the close. Some people tell me it's supposed to be tomorrow morning. Anyway, it's either tonight after the close or tomorrow morning. Guess what? Yatra India already reported early this morning. I think it came out like a day early or something, or maybe it was scheduled for that. I don't know. Yatra India, last I checked, was up 16%. This morning was up 20%. In fact, let me just look at it one more second. I'm going to log in, and we're going to tell you how much Yatra India is. I think the market must have closed in India, so let me see what it closed at. Yatra India, I think it's closed at this point, up 13%. Yatra India up 13%. Now, with that 13% move in Yatra India, the fair value of Yatra, the net asset value of Yatra, and if you take their holdings of Yatra India, is over $3 a share. Over $3 a share. It's trading at $1.70 right now. Okay. Now, it's up 7% today versus up 13% in India. So you're going to say, if it's worth 3, it's only 7 versus 13. There must be something else going on here. There's been a permanent discount versus the NAV. Okay. There's been a permanent discount versus the NAV. And the reason for that is ARB players, hedge funds, cannot easily ARB this out, meaning they cannot easily short Yatra in India and then buy Yatra in the US because it's 2 separate exchanges. Okay. Makes it difficult. I looked into it once a couple years ago to see if I could do it, but on IBKR, they didn't let me short Yatra India, so I couldn't do it. All right. That's the reason for this big discount. All right. But there's 2 reasons I got in today, because you don't see a press release here yet from Yatra US about that explosively awesome earnings report in Yatra India. That press release is coming out tonight or tomorrow morning. Reason number one why I'm in. Reason number two why I got in with a big size here, by the way, in my short-term account and my retirement account, right around here, around probably $1.67 average, is because that ARB issue I just told you about, we're saying Yatra's worth $3. It's going to be resolved at some point, and we're going to get an update on that from the company. Basically, what the company's going to try to do is to buy out U.S. shareholders and then retire this U.S. listing. So it's worth $3. Now, if they're going to go through the trouble of doing this, there's $1.68. They're going to pay a discount. They're not going to pay the full $3 NAV. They're going to pay maybe $2.50, $2.60, something like that. Now, this is something that's been in the works for a couple of years. But last I heard, I'm just starting to get familiar with the story again because I left it for dead for like a year. But I've made contact with some of my colleagues who've been studying this, and they're telling me that the company most recently indicated that they're going to be retiring those Yatra US shares and buying us out either like end of this year or first quarter 2026. Okay, so along with the great earnings report that's about to hit tonight or tomorrow morning, we're hoping for management to give us an update on, yeah, we're planning on buying out Yatra US. The timing is going to be whatever. So that now we have two catalysts working for us, along with this little ARB. You know, even if you're not aiming, even if you think, oh, that's not going to happen anytime soon, you still have this little ARB, which is we're up 6% here, but we're up 13% in India. So this thing can, you know, on the earnings report tonight or tomorrow morning, it can move up like another 10 cents or so at least. Okay. And then optionality upside above that if the company talks about their plans to buy out the Yatra US shares. So these are the trades I'm in today. It's NRGV, Kodak for a little bounce. I had huge size at 692. I mean, no, 630 when we got in. Now, for now, this is just a little scalp off the bottom, hopefully. So NRGV, largest position right now. Second largest position, Yatra in the trade account. A little bit of Kodak, a little bit of SOC, and a little bit of TXMD. That's what I'm trading today. That was a mouthful, Rhett. Any comments before we talk about SNES Tech and roll into the SNES Tech interview?
Yeah, just one last thing. As you guys see at the bottom of the screen here, we are doing a $100 giveaway. So all you have to do is head on over to the Story Trading IR account on X, like the pinned tweet, retweet it, and you must be a follower. I see some people have liked and retweeted, but they're not followers, so that doesn't give you an opportunity to win the $100. So make sure you're following that account. We only have 7 valid winners at the moment. We're going to spin the wheel live so you guys can see, but we only have 7 people at the moment that have actually are able to qualify to win the $100. So just want to put that out there for you guys. Free $100 to win there by just clicking a few buttons there.
Right. And let me just reiterate what this is about. We have a new story trading handle on Story Trading. It's called Story Trading Spotlight. So we need to get the follower account up on Story Trading Spotlight. That's the account we're going to be putting in. If you want to be first, you know, with these CEO interviews we do, like with SNES Tech today, with MOB yesterday. If you want to be first to get, you know, interview clips and highlights, and when there's a press release, we're going to be amplifying it. It's going to go out on that account first. Okay. The main Story Trading account later on, you know, we might retweet or something, and we're not going to retweet everything. So if you want to be first to all of that information on these great companies we cover, you need to be following the Story Trading Spotlight account. So that's the reason for this little $100 giveaway. So head on over. You can find that Story Trading Spotlight account by going to the regular Story Trading account. There's a pinned tweet that takes you right there. The handle is StoryTrading_IR. And we're going to be spinning that live. We're going to be giving out $100 live right on this show, right after the interview with SNES Tech. And then, by the way, stay tuned on the other end. We're going to. All right. And with that, I also see if you do have comments for SNES Tech CEO, Joel Fruitt, make sure to put your comments in the, if you're at X, it doesn't matter where you're watching from, wherever you're watching from, put it in the comment stream. Okay. I think there was something in Discord. Let me see if someone put something in Discord.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll upload it for you, Ben.
Oh, okay, good. Put it so that's this way. All the questions will be in the same place.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to this interview. I'm excited to hear what Joel has to say for us.
We've been covering SNES Tech since $2, went to $6, it tripled. A lot of people in our community made a ton of money. Little pullback here, maybe a little more than a little pullback, but 6 to 3. So we are about to get an update from him. They just had, before we bring him on, the reason it's scheduled for today is because they just had their earnings last night. So we're going to talk about the earnings report. There were also 2 press releases, one yesterday expanding to Lowe's, and then another one today getting a distributor in Belize. So we got 3 press releases to talk about. So let's hit that countdown button, Rhett, and we're going to reset here with the CEO of SNES Tech.
Let's get it.
Joel Fruent of SNES Tech, welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we spoke to you. How you doing?
Doing great, Ben. It has been a while. A lot of things going on, and hope you've been doing well as well.
We have been. We've been navigating the year pretty well, navigating all the craziness in the market pretty well. So let's get down to business. Yesterday, so you've had 3 press releases, so a lot going on. I mean, do you want me to give a quick recap, or do you want to just how do you want this to go?
Well, go ahead. Give a quick recap.
All right, let me tell you this. Let me give a quick recap. You had earnings yesterday, and what I saw, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, what I saw is continued sequential growth on revenue, continued sequential growth year over year, continued improvement sequentially as well, right? And year over year on EBITDA as well, right? So we're seeing that continued sequential growth. Lots and lots of things cooking, lots of shots on goals. So I'm going to get into details and ask you a lot about all those shots on goals and the progress you're having in all of those areas. But why don't you just start very high level summary of that earnings, and then we'll get into those 2 press releases as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good summary, by the way. But our revenues increased 43% year over year. So we were excited about that. That shows the continued growth. The evolution of our Evolve product line is probably the most exciting. It now accounts for 77% year over year growth, and it's 85% of our total revenues now from ContraPest, the original liquid product. So you can see that transformation happening, and anytime you look at that transformation, that's only good things for us, because Evolve gives us a product that's in line economically with other rodenticides out there, that has an extended shelf life of 18 months plus. So what that means is it can give us access to distribution that we couldn't have with ContraPest. And it's a much easier product to use out in the field, which is an important point in a lot of our marketplaces in the verticals that we're in. So we're excited about that. The other exciting thing too is we've shown once again that our gross margins are staying in line with actually a little above what our expectations are. They were about 63%. We had planned on 60 plus. And so they've been fluctuating between 63 and 67. So we're excited about that. And we're really focusing also on our costs and making sure that we're not overspending as we track our path to profitability.
Yeah, and that's a great area you ended on, because that's what I wanted to talk about. Look, we got very sophisticated people in our community and followers of story trading. And we all know when it comes to small microcap companies, the holy grail is flipping to profitability. And it's a touchy issue, because it's one where, if you have, sometimes you got to access capital markets on really bad terms. I mean, there's a lot of vultures out there that try to, give money to these small companies, and it's a problem. Now, for you guys, however, first of all, you've raised a good amount of money on pretty good terms. In fact, let me just see if this is correct. Is the latest numbers, you have around 10 million cash, is that right?
Yeah, we got $10.2 million in cash right now.
And the shares outstanding is this Webull is showing me 5.2 million. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just over 5 million.
Wow, that's great. So you're talking about basically our enterprise value is only $7 million. So, the key question that everyone's interested in is, can you flip to profitability before you have to access these capital markets, which are just terrible for small companies, right? Now that you got this 10 million, which you did a great job on all those raises, what's your answer to that? Can we get to profitability without having to, get some sort of bad dilution or something?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is yes, we believe so. 10.2 million will get us into 2027 on its own. And I think our guidance before has been and still is that, we think that there's a cash flow break even somewhere in the second half of 2026 for us.
Mm-hmm. And this is interesting. Your EV to sales is under 2 right now. Your EV to sales is under 2 right now. So in terms of valuation, pretty low valuation here. If you are actually able to flip to that profitability, so how are things tracking versus your own internal expectations? Because we don't have really much analyst coverage. So in terms of the sequential revenue growth you've seen, has that been matching or under or over your expectations that you internally modeled for 2025 so far?
Yeah, I think that when you start looking at, we've talked about our vertical markets that we're in, and the sales channels, really focus on our 6-channel strategy on what we're doing in each of those channels in order to get there. I think we're right in line with what the expectations that we had on ourselves were. One of the key components of our business is being a regulated product is getting approvals, whether that's state approvals, country approvals. Mm-hmm. And then once you get approvals, in a lot of the markets that we're in, there's a lot of testing and pilot programs that go on, such as like with New York City and the municipal side. Once we get through the pilot programs and the testing periods, then we start seeing the sales come along. And I'll give you a perfect example of that is in our pest management vertical, and one of the theme parks that is worldwide started testing our product, and it took about 10 months for them to do their own internal tests. And now we've gotten our 3rd sequential monthly order in a row. And we're starting to see that in a number of different areas.
So that's after the 10 months of testing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So were you paid during that 10 months of testing?
Well, they bought a small amount of material, and they did their own test. And mainly when you do tests on this, it's about consumption. Do the rats and mice eat it?
Right.
And because there's all of the data that we have that shows it works, and you start to see some of the field tests now are showing the same thing, is that once they start consuming it, after 3 or 4 months, you're going to see a drop in the population, a significant drop in the population. As you get into 6 and 7 months, then you see even more of a drop, where you eventually get down to the point where as part of an integrated pest management program, you're going to get a 90+% reduction.
So let me ask about this theme park. I mean, I assume it's either Great Adventure or Disney World, because I don't know any others. But are there more? I don't know. If there's more, are there more than those 2? Or there's like the 2 big theme parks?
Well, there's a lot of theme parks out there. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
And we're getting a lot of interest from a number of them.
Okay. All right, cool. So when you're talking about these 3 sequential orders, are these orders still like kind of in volume wise? Is it still like considered testing, or is it full scale deployment at this point?
Well, it's multiple pallet orders at a time. Okay. So, and I think we mentioned before, a pallet is roughly, just for namesake, $10,000.
Yeah.
Right. So when you start getting into multi-pallet orders and doing that on a monthly basis, that's where you're going to start to see.
Is this at one location, or is that multiple of their locations?
It's at one location, and there's other locations that they're considering.
Okay, so is it like they're using that as a test still, kind of? It's like
Well,
full
I think
deployment in that.
it's like anything else. You start
Mm,
integrating it. I mean,
yeah,
I know that you want us to get in 120,000 blocks in New York City
I
right
that
away.
that's my next question. Yeah,
I figured that's where we were going.
that's where I'm
And
going with it. Yeah,
what happens is you start out small. They do a small
yeah.
test plot, and then they say, okay, this is really working for us. So then they expand it, and then the expectations are that you start expanding again,
Mhm.
especially when you get out in the field and you start working with them and you start looking at okay, what if we do this? What if we do that?
Right. Okay, so where I'm going with this, what I'm trying to figure out is, look, you're growing sequentially year over year. Everything's on track according to your models, according to everything you promised us. You're delivering, right? But from an outsider perspective, I could tell you, me, other people, retail, we're not patient. We're looking at all this and we're like, mm, you have these theme parks, you have so many cities now. I'm losing track of how many cities you have. You got like multiple countries now. And when I look at the revenue of 700,000 this quarter, yeah, it's growth, but I'm thinking to myself, like, suddenly some quarter shouldn't it jump to like 2 or 3 million? I mean, yeah, like what are the size of these orders? Because I'm thinking, like, shouldn't we get like a few 100,000 from Baltimore, a few 100,000 from Chicago, a few 100,000 from New York, a few 100,000 from Are we overestimating the potential here, or are we right to be like one of these quarters you're just gonna have a hockey stick?
Well, I think you're right. When you start looking at the business, and of course, in my background, I was in another pest control area and mosquito control products. And the same thing was there, is that field trials are very important. You got to get it out in the field, you got to get it used. And then at some point, the usage will expand rapidly. And we're certainly looking at that. We think that we're just at the beginning of this because the municipalities, the cities that we're starting to be active in, we're starting to see the sales increase. And ultimately, more and more are going to catch on. An example of that would be in Chicago, right? In Wicker Park started using it, one of the neighborhoods, one of the special service areas, and there's 55 of those in the city of Chicago. They started using it. We were getting consistent reorders there, and other SSAs are starting to catch on and are putting it in their budgets for next year. So what we'll see is that usage will happen, others will notice, they'll start using it, and then they'll start ramping up together.
Okay. So I know we've been through the math, and you're talking about the 120,000 blocks, but is that math still in play? Because look, we've been in these Chicago neighborhoods for quite a while, and I think there's multiple cities that you've characterized as full deployment, not just testing. So, what is a realistic expectation if you can average it out, right? If an average full site, I know you can't do average because like New York City is like forget about New York City, excluding New York City, all these other cities you have. What is a fair expectation that investors should have in terms of quarterly, revenue per city that's at full deployment? And
Well,
not theoretical, that if it's all the city, like an actual thing that we can say, to look forward to, that, once it gets to full deployment in all of these smaller cities, you can roughly say it's X amount of dollars per quarter per city. Is there some average target you can let us know about?
well, there's really not. And the reason is this, is that each city has its own issues and its own needs, its own funding, its own budgeting. So we got to go through that whole process. What I can tell you is this, is that once they start seeing success, they don't stop. Mentioned Baltimore, right? Baltimore is one. They started their own pilot program. Then they hired a pest control professional to run the program for them. And then recently we saw orders start to spike up. So how much longer will that go? Well, we've got to keep working with the cities in order to see where else they want to deploy. where else Chicago wants to deploy, where we get the approvals in the special service areas. But I can tell you this is as well is that we start getting people on the ground. Like you saw a press release about Belize. There's a classic example of somebody that's on the ground that says, this is the product we need to use because we don't want rats and we don't want poisons. And you'll start to see that ramp up as well as we get more people that are followers of the product and users of the product, and then they start telling the story to others.
All right, since I can't pin you on a number there, let's talk about New York City again. So in the conference call last night, I believe it was during the Q&A, you guys mentioned there's 100% consumption in New York City. So what is the expectation or different scenarios that can happen in New York City over the next few quarters?
Well, their pilot program is going to continue in West Harlem, and we start to see them add some bait stations to it, which is good. That's going to continue on until the end of April. And at the end of April, well, probably before that, they'll evaluate, okay, where else are we going to expand this to? Because the one thing they were looking for is consumption. There's been enough testing. We've done enough lab studies to show that the product works on both male and female rats. If they consume the product, their reproductive rate will go way down. And that's what you're looking for, the population control.
So what's that mean in terms of what are the different scenarios in terms of revenue? Bull case, middle of the road case, bear case, right? In terms of revenue and by the end of 2026, what are your expectations that you can get from New York City?
Well, our expectations, there's going to be substantial usage in it, but I'm not going to, you can't pin me down to a number because that depends on New York City and what they want to do. I cannot speak for them, but what I can speak to is that they've been very pleased with what they've seen, how easy the product is to use, where it's being placed, and the consumption of the product. And they'll continue to expand that and use that as part of their integrated pest management program, along with a lot of the other things that they've done in the past.
Okay. By the way, we're having a ton of questions rolling in from different platforms on X, on private message, on Discord, on YouTube. I'm probably not going to get to all of them. I have a couple more questions, then we'll start trying to tackle some of these user questions. Rhett, if you can hear me, if you're in the studio, maybe when we get to that section, you can jump in and help me filter through all these questions. Okay. All right. So that is the municipalities. Now you expanded to Lowe's yesterday, press release on that. Now, what I found very exciting about that is that you mentioned in the press release that you're already in negotiations to get into their brick and mortar stores by the end of Q2. Can you remind me which before we get into brick and mortar at this point now, which websites are you on? Lowe's is new. I forget. Are you on Home Depot? I forget.
We announced that we're on Home Depot about 60 days ago. We're on Walmart.com. We're on TractorSupply.com, as well as, of course, our sites as well.
And Ace. Right? Is Ace
and
online?
Ace yeah, it's not online. That's
in the
stores. Yes.
Okay, cool. Like got the opposite effect there. Okay, so are you pretty much everywhere you want to be online at this point?
Well, I think when we started looking at this, it said where do we want to be, and of course Amazon was first, and then happy to report Amazon sales have been growing by double digits monthly. Literally, we just really got onto Amazon just about a year ago after we got all the bugs worked out. And, at that time, I think we were selling, $4,000 or $5,000 in a month. And now we're up, at, the $90,000 to $100,000 run rate per month. So we got onto Amazon and then we started saying, okay, where else do we need to be? And of course, Home Depot and Lowe's. We started talking to them. We got into the right situation with a manufacturer's rep we work with, and he got us right to the table. And so that's how you've seen those come about. So, we're at Walmart. We've got a lot of plans to expand on that. So we're in a good spot right now, but we keep looking for other options.
Yeah. Do you have any expectations, or I'm just totally hypothesizing that brick and mortar in these big, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart would do much better than online, because I assume, a lot of people don't know to look for your product yet. So when they see it on the shelf, but a lot of people probably in the stores are looking for, pest control and rat and mice control. So when they, walk down the aisles and they see it, your sales would, go up substantially. That's my thesis. Is that correct? And do you have any thoughts on what it might do? Can you quantify it all? What that might do if we get into brick and mortar?
Yeah, I think that, we start to see this with ACE, is that, we're still working with ACE and we're trying to get into more of their distribution centers. But the ones that we've gotten into, we're starting to see reorders, right? So that's the product is in front of the people, in front of the consumer as they come in. They're looking for options. There's a certain percentage that will not even consider poisons or traps or those types of things. We'll allow them to get what they want, and then the others will follow. So, going back to Lowe's, we got online. They're going to get the product, get it going online. We've already begun that process. And then their thought and our discussion has been, okay, then the next step would be, let's put it into 100 stores or so as a trial sometime into the second, beginning of the third quarter, depending on, their merchandising plans, because they have a lot of other products. So they got to make sure it fits in. So we're excited about those discussions. There's no guarantees, but then again, when we're having discussions about it, we like the position we're in order to get it in the stores.
Okay, but do you have any guidance? Not guidance. I don't mean that from a legal term, but I mean if you have a particular volume, a particular X, like online, and if it goes to brick and mortar, is there any historical data, and maybe even coming from, in your talks with Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever, maybe they know the answer, right? If you're getting X amount of sales and then you go in brick and mortar, is there something like historically on average it'll 3X in retail? Is there any such metric that we can look forward to?
Well, they all have their own metrics. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking on, okay, so if we put a product online and it does well, what does that mean for the stores?
Right.
There's really nothing that I can say at this point other than they are looking at the online sales and the potential for the brick and mortar sales.
Got it.
And on our end,
they haven't advised you, like, look, if we take you brick and mortar, we're expecting this much, or we think, or you got to hit a certain metric online for us to get you on brick and mortar, and then it'll be like 10 times. Can you handle that volume? Has there any such conversations like that?
Well, those are all the conversations that we have. It's like they're talking about capacity. What can you do if we put you in a number of stores? We've answered all those questions. They've got some metrics historically that say, okay, if a product is this online, it should do this in our space and home and garden and the areas that we're in pest control, that it should do this. So what our job is right now is we got to make sure that people are aware of the product online, that they understand what it is, and that they'll buy it. And that's exactly the place we're in with Amazon.
If we do get into, let's say, brick and mortar one day on Home Depot or Lowe's, without quantifying it now, because I guess you don't have the answer to actually quantify it, but can we? Is that like would you expect that to just be incremental growth from there, or is that like a step function growth that like overnight it could be multiples higher?
Well, it could be either, but it could be this incremental growth, this hockey stick growth. If all of a sudden they say, okay, we want to put it in 600 stores, and a pallet of material in each of the 600 stores, that's where you're going to see the incremental growth. Those are the shots on goal that we have not only in retail, but we have in our other verticals as well.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question, and then because there's so many questions from the audience, so a bunch of people have been asking us about this lawsuit that's happening. Yeah, it was addressed a little bit last night. I think that's what the $100,000 during the quarter was, right?
Yeah.
So look, I don't know anything about the lawsuit. You guys know more than me. I'm wondering if is it possible to tell us the best case, worst case, middle case scenarios that you're preparing for?
Well, this lawsuit, with one of the poison producing companies. And I think what you're seeing is that they start to realize that rodent birth control is something that is a threat to their business. We think that it's baseless. We think it's frivolous. And I suppose that's a positive sign that they're looking at that. But we expect that there will be some resolution of this in the short term.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, okay. I don't want to. It sounds like you're hinting at some sort of settlement rather than going through a full trial or something like that.
Well, I can't promise anything. I just
Right,
know that the position that we're in, that we're addressing this, and we're in a good position.
Okay, great. That's good to know. All right, Rhett, if you're back there, why don't you hop on and help us out with all these questions? I mean, there's so many of them. Where do you want to start? What do you think looks good out of all these questions here?
Hey, Joel, how's it going?
Hey,
how's it going? All right, so I think one of the first questions let's start with that also got brought up on the conference call last night was New Zealand. You mentioned New Zealand on approval yesterday. You want to talk a little bit more about that really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about New Zealand. New Zealand has a program that's called Predator Free 2050, and it's a national project that they're going to try to eradicate predators like possums and rats. And that fits right in. And they saw our product. They said, we want to test this. So they did their own testing. Our distributor that's in Australia and New Zealand worked with them. And we just got the official notification that the product is now approved in New Zealand. So now what we'll be doing is, working on, okay, how much product do we need to ship there? How they're going to start using it. And we'll have some type of release on that in the near future.
Awesome. Sweet. And then our next question that we have from our audience here is about your the liquid product ContraPest. Is it going to be sold online, or is that going to be phased out because of Evolve's success that you're seeing?
Yeah, well, we still manufacture ContraPest, and it still uses more for professional product for pest management professionals. The one thing it does not have is a long shelf life. Evolve has 18 months plus. This has a 60, 90-day shelf life. So that's really directed to professional use where they order the tanks, they use them. As far as being put on distributor shelves, you will not see that.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And our next one is going to be, you mentioned the adoption from the municipal side doing well with New York, Chicago, Baltimore. Can you give us more color on San Francisco and LA and any other big cities in your lineup? And if so, which cities?
Yeah, San Francisco and LA. So LA now has the distinction of taking over as the rattiest city over Chicago. And we like to think that we helped Chicago get out of being the rattiest city by the work we're doing in Wicker Park and Old Town. So we'll take credit there. We've been working in Los Angeles for a while. Our product's been used at the Los Angeles Zoo for about 3.5 years now.
Oh.
They use ContraPest, and then as Evolve came, they started switching over to Evolve. That has also transferred into using in some of the municipal projects that they're doing there, the Department of Public Works. So we're very confident there that that's going to rapidly expand there. In San Francisco, we have our partner up there, Pest Tech, who continues to do deployments for the city. We've got some interest now with the Parks and Recreation for San Francisco. So I think when you look at it, we're in those areas, and now we've got to continue to show them that the product works and something that they want.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then another, we're getting a few of these questions coming in regarding Amazon. It's mentioned that a few of your products are not attractive to rats in specific areas on the reviews, and they're recommending mixing it with peanut butter powder. Are you guys considering improving the product for Evolve?
Well, that's surprising to us because wherever we've had this product, and New York City as an example, is we have success with consumption, and they go to it. In fact, we have some international customers that are now using it as more of an attractant. We have almond growers in California who are using it to get the rats away from the almond trees, and to certain areas. So certainly we continue to look at, okay, what other formulations do we need to have? Things like, do we need to have some type of pellets or those types of things? And we're trying to address when we see those concerns wherever we can. But I can tell you this, is when you have this product out in the middle of a sugarcane field and they come and consume this instead of eating the sugarcane, you know you have something. And it's sugary, it's fatty, it's everything that they like. And so we're going to continue on. And at the same time, keep our eyes and ears open on ways that we can improve the product.
Rhett, you've had some experience using it in a field and a farm,
yeah, I was
right?
going to say, we deployed it at a farm, a chicken farm, and we had 100% consumption. And that's with like chicken feed everywhere. So, I mean, that's one of the things too. It's like, I saw 100% consumption in the product. So, and that's with food everywhere. So, I mean, I guess they're putting it where the rats aren't. So. My only
coming in. Yeah, I mean, and when you start getting those reviews, and of course, you never know what the circumstances are. I mean, maybe it was put in an area where they didn't have rats. I don't know. We've seen that before, and then they moved it and into other areas, and then they have great consumption. So there's a lot of those variables out there, but we certainly are addressing anything that we hear about to make sure that we've got satisfied customers out there.
And then we have a few more coming in here. Here is one in terms of SNES Tech has been in Home Depot for 2 months. Can you give us insights in terms of revenue and where SNES Tech is in terms of getting spots and warehouse? I think we already covered that here on the live stream.
Yeah, we're getting orders on Home Depot, and we're starting to do things like their Orange Apron program, which is an internal program to help you get your product more exposure. So that's at the forefront of our minds, is making sure that we're doing programs within these retailers so that we can maximize the exposure.
Awesome. Then one of the last questions here that I have on my end, someone is asking, do you expect the next 24 months that municipal or agriculture revenue will take over the online sales as a percentage of total revenue?
Well, you can see that with what we've done with the municipalities in the last year, and actually the last 8 months, has really started to ramp up. So we're going to maintain focus on that. Certainly that marketplace size with all the cities across the United States, and if you start getting repeat business from them, that could substantially do that. So what we see our online or e-commerce continue to be strong and grow as Amazon secures more and we get some of these others going. But we expect the verticals like agriculture and pest management to start really ramping up themselves. So that's where you start getting these multiple channels going and you start to see some significant growth.
Awesome. And then let's leave with this last question here. I just saw it come in. Any approval status updates for Singapore? And I saw Evolve is being mentioned in a rat documentary in Singapore recently. Can you give us a few updates on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our distributor in Singapore who's been working with the NEA there. So there's their version of the EPA. We're making significant progress. It's a little bit slower than what we would like naturally. But we do know this is that the Singapore Zoo is starting to jump in because they really want to use the product at the Singapore Zoo, which is one of the largest zoos in the world. And we're looking forward to getting the full approval there. And we're taking all the steps to do that.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, Joel.
All right, Rhett, thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Rhett.
All right, cool. Well, Joel, it was awesome talking to you again. You have just to finish things up. What's the next catalyst we can look forward to? Is it the next earnings report, or anything we should look forward to before the next earnings report?
Well, I think the things that we're looking at is that, our expansion and what we're doing. And while international growth has been a little bit slower than we thought because of some of these approvals, I think that what you see with Belize and what you see with New Zealand, and we've got some others that we think are going to follow that, is that you're going to start seeing the international channel take a lot more prominent position in revenue growth. And we're going to continue on with the cities, the municipalities, the government agencies, and continue to do our work that we're doing in the agriculture sector, where there's a lot of economic value there from using a product like Evolve.
Okay. Well, looking forward to some updates, because I think it's a tough time for earnings. The next earnings report, like, we're gonna have to wait like 5 months or so. All right.
I think we'll be back in February. We'll be back in February.
Oh, really? Oh, for Q. Really? That's February. Okay, that'll be great. Okay, awesome. So we'll get the earnings report in February. Hopefully, have some nice catalysts before then. Thank you again, Joel, for joining us, and for everyone listening and watching. Stay on. Right after we say goodbye to Joel, we're going to tell you how to instantly win $100, and we're going to send it to your Venmo, and we're going to continue live trading for the next half hour. Thank you so much, Joel.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we are back. All right. That was a SNES Tech interview. You can see here, ticker symbol SNES, the stock. Right below, it's 220-day moving average. Nice to verify these numbers, actually. The enterprise value is only $7 million. It's trading at under 2 times EV to sales. So you can make your own decisions what you want to do there. Full disclosure, I do own some in my long-term retirement account. Do not own any in the trading account. And just in case we didn't make it explicit earlier, SNES Tech is a paid sponsor of the story trading community. Now, with that, we are going to continue live trading for 20 minutes. But Rhett, why don't you first tell folks how they can win? This is your last chance. We're going to be doing this drawing at 1 p.m.
Yeah, so you can go ahead on heading over to the Story Trading IR X account, like, retweet, and you must be a follower, and just like that pinned tweet right there at the top of that account. So go over to the Story Trading IR X account, like, retweet, and must be a follower to win the $100, and we'll do the wheel live with you guys. So you guys have
that wheel is so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and we'll send that right to your Venmo or PayPal. But it's the username is StoryTrading_IR, or you just the display name is Story Trading Spotlight, or you can go directly to the Story Trading X account, and the pin tweet on the Story Trading X account will send you to the Story Trading Spotlight, Story Trading IR account, where you can do what Rhett said in order to have a chance at winning that $100. All right. So that is SNES Tech, and let's take a look at what happened while we're gone. It's tough. I couldn't really trade. I saw some of this price action during the interview, but NRGV came back, went all the way to the 460s. If I had my full focus, maybe I would have trimmed some up there and bought back here, but I haven't taken any profits on NRGV yet. None. I've been holding all day. My average is $4.40. There's been some ups and downs, maybe to scalp and take advantage of if you could. I just didn't have that focus to be able to do that. So that's NRGV. By the way, I may have forgotten to mention that while NRGV is my largest trade position for the day, followed by Yatra, my largest position is actually LDI, which I swung. We were hoping for a big re-rating yesterday. It didn't happen yesterday, and I said at the end of the day, I am not going to give up on LDI. I'm holding my entire position, which is very large. I think it's like 13, 14% of my account, something like that. If you look at these home stocks, Open has been crushing LDI here, but I was expecting something like this. This is what I was, and by the way, I gave this target on Open yesterday morning. I gave the 50 DMA target. Yeah, in the morning note, I said 775 same day. BETR, I said 20 DMA same day, which it touched and it hit. And I was only wrong on LDI, and that was the one I took. So LDI, I also thought that we get this sort of price action on the same day. But oh my gosh, look at Nail. In fact, this morning I decided to sell Nail. I was going to swing it, but it was a little bit weak yesterday, and I was in the green on it. But I said, you know what? I already have enough exposure with LDI. Let me take my profit on Nail and just stick with LDI. Another day of a little disappointment on LDI, but after doing the research yesterday and consulting with our colleague here, the Godfather knows, I'm going to stick with it. Look, we were in this original run from like $2 to $5. Made a ton of money on that. And I think the setup and the catalyst and the sentiment are similar now to see a secondary move just like that. Look, just like we saw in Open. It's this same thing. It's the same chart. It's just open took off and LDI hasn't yet, and I think it continued to will do that soon. So LDI, my largest position in my trade account, followed by NRGV, which I'm hoping for continued re-rating today. And as I said, Rhett, this can have a price target this week of 550 to 670, and I'll have to do more research on this company. Because I don't know the fundamentals of this company well, I'm not going to hold a big position overnight, but I will hold some probably. I will hold some while I research this company tonight, and we'll see. So NRGV, hopefully, I'm in the green now, but hopefully we'll break the highs and have a chance to take some profits and then carry over smaller size into tomorrow. So that's NRGV. I do want to point out LPTH. I did just a few minutes ago buy some LPTH common. I've been so bullish on LPTH since the last earnings report. That conference call was spectacular on LPTH. They report tonight. So I'm in some call options, which I'm going to hold into the earnings report. But I just bought some common shares for a little ER anticipation run, hopefully, that we'll get here in this afternoon. And we'll see. I think probably I'll sell the common shares, hold the call options, and we'll look at the after hours to decide what to do from there. That's LPTH. And Godfather's pick, AIP. We can put this in the category of ER winners. Let's move that over, actually. We're talking about these multi-day runs on ER winners, which include Kodak and Snap and Rivian and eToro and Lyft and Peloton. And we can add AIP to that. And maybe we're going to end up adding NRGV to that, too. It's day one only. I have a feeling, sneaky suspicion, NRGV will end up on this multi-day runner list after positive ER. So, all right, let's move back on over to that top list here, Rhett, and see if I'm missing anything. So we covered LDI and NRGV. Yatra I told you about earlier. Maybe looking for a big exit tonight or tomorrow morning after the press release comes out on the earnings report, which we already know what the earnings are because it was already reported in India, but not yet in the U.S. So I think we can maybe get at least another 10. And what else? Oh, this didn't work out. Intraday, I was trying to go for a little scalp in Kodak, but I'm going to give it a little bit of time here. Not going to get stopped out just yet on that support. I was looking at just above 8 as a support level. We'll see if we reclaim that. And then SOC, I'm in a little trade on that, which I should be green on. Looking maybe for a violent continued move up with this short position and the catalyst that we covered before the SNES Tech interview. 840 to 10 maybe on SOC. Some wild stuff going on over there. TexMD, microcap, really microcap, smaller position on that, on the hormone replacement therapy catalyst from the FDA, removing the black box warning. And that's basically my focus for it today. Rhett, you have any thoughts on any of these tickers?
No, I was just going to give you my thoughts on the SNES Tech interview and how.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have jumped in earlier before I went off. All right, go ahead.
No, I think overall it's good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff still in the pipeline for SNES Tech that keeps evolving more and more, keeps coming up with the company. I mean, I think it's great them getting all the online. I mean, I think they've pretty much hit all of their online presence where they want to be for the online stores in terms of where people are going to be buying like rodent products from. Now it's just trying to transition those online to in the store. So I think, I mean, you saw it with Ace, they're expanding there. And I mean, you saw the other rodent poison companies, they're getting scared. So what are they doing? They're going to try to go after and put them in lawsuits. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts for SNES Tech. We personally used the product on the farm and it worked wonders. I mean, 100% consumption, and I haven't seen a rat since in over a month, I would say. So, I mean, there's positives there. I mean, the people that say there's no consumption on the product, I mean, I guess they don't have rats, or it's like, I don't know what to say to those comments. They're not deploying it properly. So you got to give it time. I mean, it doesn't work instantly. I mean, it's a rodent birth control. I mean, it's going to take times for you to see decrease in the population for their products. So that's just my thoughts there.
All right. We got a question on TONX. Do we know when the quiet period ends? I think it's a few days after the earnings report. They haven't PR'd when their earnings report is here, but according to Webull, it's soon. Where is it? Oh, it's not here anymore. It was around now. It should be soon. I would say any day we're probably either going to get the earnings report or we'll get a press release of when the earnings report will be. So should be soon. And then I think it's like 3 days. I don't know. Don't hold me to it, but it's a couple days at least after the earnings report, something like that, is when the company will be able to do buybacks again, and they'll be able to do insider purchases again. Right now, they're not allowed to do either. So that could be a catalyst after they report their earnings. Okay, that's
UAMY.
What's that?
UAMY is having a V-shaped recovery right now and heading
Oh,
into our target zone again. It hit our target
Oh
zone.
wow! So I made a scalp on this morning, on the catalyst this morning, and it's coming back. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to re-enter it here, but the two targets I gave were the 50 DMA at 824, or was it 817?
814. It was 814, then to 850.
Yeah, okay. I gave 814 to 850. Actually, look, the 50 DMA moved. When I gave the targets, this 50 DMA was not updated. Increased a little bit today.
Yep.
So in any case, the 50 DMA is now 824. It hit 820. So it got resisted within pennies of the 50 DMA. And if it breaks that 50 DMA, your next target will be 850. Okay, so that's on UAMY. All right. We got 15 more minutes here. Live trading. We'll answer any questions, and then we'll do that $100 giveaway. Spin the wheel. All right. Again, just to win that $100, just takes a few clicks, and we'll Venmo or PayPal the money to you this afternoon. You just go to our story trading profile, go to story trading spotlights, and then what is it? Like and retweet. Is that it? Like and retweet.
Yeah, you have to like, retweet, and follow.
Like, retweet, and follow Story Trading Spotlight. And by the way, you'll want to do that anyway, because that's the fastest way of getting updates on the companies we cover, whether it be SNES Tech or Mobilicom or the one we just said, TONX, right? If there's updates on there, press releases, interviews, things like that, it'll come out of that story trading account, not the regular story trading account. So you want to make sure to be following Story Trading Spotlight. So go ahead and do that, and you might win $100 cash in just a few minutes. All right. Are there any other trade ideas that people are? I haven't looked at in the Discord in like over an hour. Anything our community's been flagging here in the last hour for trade ideas?
No, I think there was some news with FedEx or UPS. I saw the headline come in there. I'm not sure what's happening there. UPS and then FDX. Let's check those out real quick.
Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
I guess there was. Whew.
Is it only UPS or is it?
I think it's you.
It's UPS is also up, but not as
significant
acutely. Not as acutely as FedEx.
Let's look here. Trying to find where I saw that.
Social media for that. I'll check the news feeds, but let me see what's on the news feeds if there's anything. I have 1:59 p.m. No, it's Friday, so the news feeds don't have anything on this. So it must be on social media. There must be something out there on FedEx.
And then the latest breaking news coming in right now from one of our members, Cole X, who's always providing us with great headlines and very timely. It says Newsom, Trump's offshore oil plan is dead on arrival in California.
What's that mean for SOC? That's SOC. Hold on a second. Hopefully it's not directly related to SOC. I don't know.
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Correlated to, but I'm just putting out there what we missed during the interview and when we've been live, and that's pretty much it.
Let me quickly look at social media to see if we can find out what's going on with FedEx. First, I gotta. Wow, look at all these notifications. All right. FDX news somewhere out there. Someone said. Okay. News somewhere out there. All right, so far that's what I have. That someone thinks there's news out there. But there's a conference. Oh, there. Okay. Are they attending a conference today? They may be.
Let's check that out.
Someone says conference must be going well. They may be attending a conference. 1 second.
Yes, a global summit.
Okay, maybe they issued
Hold on,
guidance over there.
FedEx conference. Well, that's near me, I guess.
I don't know. I don't see a press release on their news feed in the last few weeks saying that they're attending a conference. Maybe there was no PR on it. Might be on their investor page, but
I'm on the investor page now. I'm not seeing.
oh, I don't know. Well, anyway, I don't really
Interesting.
trade FedEx anyway, so let's go back and look at some of these ER winners. Let's see. Man, Snap was just. I wish I kept those Snap calls. I had like $8 Snap calls. I sold on Friday first.
Yeah, those would be printing right now.
Yeah, because it was up Friday, and I was like, "Okay, let me make a little money on a blood red day." If I kept them, yeah. Let's see.
All right, we have more people coming in. So far, we still only have 11 people that have the chance to win. We have a bunch of likes, but you guys didn't. Some of you guys aren't following.
Oh, they like, but they forget to follow. It
Yep.
doesn't work. You got to follow if you want.
Retweet. You
want
have
to
to
win
as well.
and retweet, like, retweet, and follow. LDI making a little comeback. Let me just check on these. Open LDI. Open LDI. Just gonna have to wait. Wow, look at! I can't believe I sold Nail this morning. I was like,
Yeah.
damn. And Home Depot must be up big. See, we had Home Depot as a trade idea yesterday,
Yeah.
and I didn't take it. We would have to keep it for 2 days anyway, unless you were average down or butt the low. But man, Nail, I did take that trade and I sold it early. I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe getting back in because these are big moves that Nail can make. It's 3 times levered home stocks. Or maybe I'll get options on Nail. Let me see something. Let me see January call options on Nail. Hell, maybe I'll get January. Which one of these have good spreads? 65. These spreads are terrible. The 65 has the most volume for January. No, what's this? Someone bought 90? Oh no, that's open interest. All right, let's see. Maybe let me go to December. Nothing going on there. Maybe I'll go back to January. January.
All right, here we go. Got updated.
January 65. January 65 going off of 480. January 65, 480. Maybe I'll do that because I can't trade the ETF itself. Fidelity doesn't let you trade it. You have to like swing it. At least, I don't know. I might have some restrictions on that right now, but you're not allowed to buy it on margin. It has to be under cash, which makes it complicated. So let me see. Maybe I'll get some Nail call options. This way, if it pops big, I could sell it same day without any worries of rule breaking. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna get 10 contracts at 480. Let's see if it. All right, I'm in at 477. All right, so now I'm playing it that way. At least this way, if it has a big day, I can sell it same day. All right. All right. So I'm gonna now swing nail call options. There goes UAMY, LDI, NRGV, Yatra, OPTH, SSC. We got 6 minutes till.
Getting there, guys. Now it's getting bigger. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people, it looks like. And I'm going back and looking who else keeps refreshing, and then we'll go from there.
You know what we should do? It should be a progressive jackpot. Like the more people we get, the bigger we'll make it.
Trying to make my job so much harder. It's hard trying to keep up now.
Should we up it right now? Like if we get 10 more people, or if we get, we'll make a jackpot 150. Should we do that?
If it gets 50 likes?
How many people are eligible now for the raffle?
I think it's like 15 or 20.
Oh, you don't know exactly how many? I'm saying if we get 10 more, we get like 10 more people eligible, maybe we'll increase it to 150. Should we do that? Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
All right. But you got to do it in the next, you got to be fast. We get 10 more people. Right now, the jackpot's 100. We get 10 more people in the next 5 minutes. Then you can win 150 instead. So just head on over to our profile and follow those instructions. Again, it's Story Trading Spotlight or Story Trading _IR. Go to the pin tweet, like, retweet, and follow, and then you'll be eligible. 10 more of you folks, and we take it up to 150. All right.
We're at 15.
This AIP, man. I think I own AIP in my retirement account. Let me double check. Look at that. Look at that AIP go. AIP. Yeah, I do own it. XBI 52-week high. Really? I wonder how IMRX is doing. The other thing was on the cusp of a breakout recently. Didn't quite break out. XBI at a new 52-week high this morning. So some biotechs are killing it right now. Wow. Oh my gosh.
All right.
AIP.
More. We're at 16, it looks like. 16. We need 4 people, 4 minutes, guys. 4 people, 4 minutes to go to 150.
Wait. Oh, yeah. I said 10 more. How many more did we just get?
Oh, okay. We were at 15, so it'd be 25.
We got one more. Oh, we need 25. They don't come rolling in fast. I'll get 25 for 150. You know what? If you get to 30, I'll make it 200. You got 3 minutes to do it.
Let's see. I'll refresh, and then that'll be it.
Wow, look at AIP. Damn. Should have reloaded those call options I had before the earnings report. UAMY looking nice, huh?
Yeah.
UAMY and AIP. AIP is going vertical right now. UAMY as well.
Let's see.
So we're going to get back on for a Discord at 3 p.m. We're going to do live.
Okay, so it's at the BAIRD Global Industrial Conference today. FedEx. The Godfather just commented.
Oh.
And then.
Oh, it's still going, actually. Must have been some good news out there. So I'm going to come back at 3 p.m. and we're going to cover the earnings reports into the after hours. The earnings reports we're going to cover. By the way, for those who haven't seen it, this is our morning newsletter. Covers yesterday's and year-to-date performance, macro discussion, updates in Trump world, proximal catalyst. Here we go. ERs of note today. Quick, Yatra, LPTH, Oklo after the close. And there's others. Maybe we'll add more to this list, but we'll be covering at least these 4 in after hours. Tomorrow morning, On, Circle, Radcom, Gilt, INVZ, Perry, tomorrow morning. All right, then you got your economic data of note. You have individual stock catalysts listed here. And then your top trade ideas, which today I didn't have any in the morning. No, these are all swings. LDI, ONDS, Galaxy were all swings today. I didn't add any trade ideas for the day until our 9 a.m. show when we added NRGV and UAMY as trades for the day. So those are only 2 official trades for the day. I added Yatra later on the Discord throughout the day, and that's it. So light day for trade ideas. I just did not like a lot of setups I was seeing this morning.
All right,
for the
guys, less than
catalyst.
a minute left here.
All right, how many people are eligible, Neil?
So let's count right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people for the pin tweet. And it's 1 p.m. Let me refresh this. Give me 1 second. See if we got any new people. View post engagements. Go to recent. No, that's it. The same people are in. 16
What is it?
people.
16? All right, so it's going to be $100.
$100.
All right, here we go. Oh,
Hold
wait,
on. Let me share the
hold on.
screen.
Wait. And yeah, 1 second. All right, share the
It's this
screen.
one. All right, you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right,
You ready?
Let's see who wins.
WIS Land Surveyor. Congratulations. Look at that.
$100.
$100. So, Rhett, tell me he gets that, or she gets
So I
that.
will be reaching out. I'll be sending you a DM on either the story trading IR account or the story trading account, and then I will ask for your Venmo and I'll send that to you. The $100. Congratulations on winning the 100.
All right, you can take that 100 and you can join our Discord for a month and turn it into a lot more than that. All right, we'll
There
see
you
you
go.
guys later. Take care, everyone. We'll be back on our Discord live stream at 3 p.m. today. Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.